Your first 10,000 followers on Instagram is always going to be the hardest, and today I'm going to share a bunch of tips you can use if you're a small creator with under 10,000 followers. That'll grow your Instagram and see pretty quick results. And don't worry if you already have 10,000 followers. Firstly, congrats, and secondly, these tips will still help you, potentially even get you better results than if you have under 10,000. Now, the divide on Instagram is recently becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, with the algorithm often favoring these larger accounts that have already got a bit more of an established following, as Instagram know that they're pretty much putting out really good content and therefore sharing it to more users, and it's becoming harder to grow as a small page. This means it can be annoying if you're first starting out. It is now probably harder than ever to grow on Instagram as a brand new page if you don't know what you're doing. However, still totally possible if you do know what you're doing, which is what I'm going to cover in this video. Now, the upside of this algorithm that sort of favors the larger accounts is it means that once you do hit 10K or 20K and you do start growing, it'll become easier and easier to grow exponentially. So today, I'm going to share my best tips for growing your Instagram account, even if you have a small following and no money to invest. Number one is playing with the algorithm. Now, so many gurus on Instagram talk about like hacking the algorithm or beating the algorithm or tricking the algorithm or all these different ways that you're like going against Instagram's algorithm. Now, one example of this is when they first introduced the algorithm and actually first created a feed that was no longer chronological. One thing you could do to beat this was tagging your photos in Indonesia and using a specific set of hashtags in your captions, which pretty much like unlocked the algorithm. I don't know how it worked, but you pretty much got your normal engagement back because everyone's engagement basically dropped in half when the algorithm was no longer chronological. If you use these tags and tagged it in Indonesia, your engagement basically doubled and went back to what it was. But then obviously Instagram worked out this flaw, and within a few weeks it was basically covered up and no longer worked. Before that, there was the follow-unfollow, which was a super good strategy back in the day, especially for personal brands. But now it hardly works, and it definitely doesn't work to the degree that it used to, and you can very easily get shadow banned or action blocked if you don't know what you're doing. Then it was power likes and engagement groups, and they worked really well, and then now they no longer really work, and it's just going to ruin your account for the long run. Notice the theme here. Every one of these tricks or hacks eventually gets covered up. Sometimes in the case of the Indonesia one, it only takes a couple weeks. Other times with the follow-unfollow or engagement groups, it takes years for them to stop. So instead of trying to work against the Instagram algorithm and try and find ways to hack it, you should focus on working with the algorithm and feed it what it wants, which is going to help you grow your Instagram account, and that will never get like blocked or stopped or become ineffective. But how do you go about doing this? Well, Instagram want to increase the amount of time users spend on their platform, because that way they can show them more ads and make more of a profit per user. If your profile aids Instagram in doing so and keeps people on the platform longer, they absolutely love that, and they will push your content to more people. One great example of this is I noticed on one of my theme pages at Income Notebook, any Instagram TV video that got over 20% average watch time would hit 100,000 plus views, basically guaranteed. Some even got close to 1 million views. However, videos that only got 5 to 10% watch time would often only get 5,000 or so views on the exact same page. The reason the ones with 20% watch time got so many more views is because it's engaging content, and Instagram just keep pushing it to new people until they sort of saturate it and they can no longer find people who enjoy that and want to watch it at least 20%. Now, the tricky part is creating content that is engaging to people who don't know you. It's pretty easy to get 20% watch time on your videos with people who know and love you, but that's a pretty small group of people. Growing your audience means you have to be appealing to people who don't know who you are. So to win the algorithm, you need to put out content that keeps people engaged, keeps people on the platform, is not spammy, and your actions should also reflect that. Putting the exact same hashtags in every single post is seen as spammy. Following hundreds of people a day and then unfollowing them is seen as spammy. Commenting on 1,000 posts a day with a bot is seen as spammy, and these things will hurt you within the algorithm. To win the algorithm, you want to keep people on the platform, reply to comments, create engaging content, and do all that good stuff that I've talked about on my channel. That there is how you rank your content and get pushed by the Instagram algorithm. Okay, Diving into number 2, that is content. This leads on from the previous one, but in 2020, your content has to be awesome. The better your content is, the more people will engage with it, the more people that will comment on it, the more people that will share it, tag their friends, and the more people Instagram will show it to. Posting a picture of you at the beach with a motivational quote, or you traveling the world with a Drake lyric as the caption, is not engaging content. I am sorry to break it to you. And that will not help you grow your audience. It may well appeal to your existing followers, however, it's not going to grow your audience because people who don't know who you are and don't have that rapport and trust and brand recognition with you will not care about where you went on holiday and the Drake lyric in the caption. To get people who don't know who you are to follow you, you need to make them feel something. You need to teach them something, help them learn something, make them laugh, make them sad, make them feel something. It needs to be content. Now, examples of this could be infographics, carousels, Instagram TV videos, normal videos. It could be a skit of you telling a funny joke and, making someone laugh. Or it could be a creative thing where you tell a story about something and make a cool film about it. Or it could be you teaching people how to grow their Instagram accounts on YouTube. It's got to have some substance to it to make you stand out above all the noise on social media in 2020. And ideally, make sure it looks good too, so it catches people's attention and performs well. Now, number 3 is create more of a community. Creating a community around your content is another one of the best ways you can grow an account, even if you only have a small following. It takes a lot of time up front, but eventually it's going to help you grow really, really well exponentially. Creating a community is essentially when you're building true fans on your profile, who share all your content, who are commenting on all your posts, who like everything, who tag their friends, and so on. And I feel like I'm getting a bit of that on YouTube. I notice so many people in the comments talking about being the first comment, and there are so many names I recognize on YouTube who comment on every single video, who like every single video, who share it with their friends, and I really, really do appreciate all of you. So if you're enjoying this content, leave a comment down below, like the video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you really want to go the extra mile, send this video to someone with less than 10,000 followers that's wanting to grow. It'll help them, it'll help me, and it'll probably strengthen your friendship with that person if they want to learn this stuff. So cheers. Now, 2 of the best strategies for building more of a community on your page is 1, being super authentic in who you are. Don't just be blasé and vanilla about everything. Be strong on your opinions and be authentic to your audience. The other thing that you can do is just really engage with your audience. That'll help you grow your community just by replying to comments, replying to DMs, replying to stories, going and liking your fans' posts, and then that sort of stuff there. If every single time someone comments on your post, you go ahead and reply to it, and they know that's going to happen every single time, that'll build true fans. Just like you notice on YouTube, every single time someone comments on my video within like the first 1 or 2 days, I will reply to every single comment because I genuinely care and I'm trying to build a community here and help you guys out. Now, as you're showing your appreciation for these people, it's going to help build really true fans who love what you're doing and that are going to share your stuff and want to see you grow, want to see you win. Therefore, they're going to go ahead and share it, talk about it, and so on. Now, one person who's done this really, really well, who's actually outside of like the business niche, is Harry Jelsey. I actually had him on my podcast. He went to a school near mine, and you might recognize him from Netflix. But every single time he'd post, and he's done this for the past couple years, he'll spend like the first 30 minutes to an hour replying to comments, just talking to people, asking them how their day was. And he said that was one of the best things that he's done to grow his audience on social media, is just when he makes a post, he just sits down, turns everything off, and replies to comments for an hour, asks his fans how their day was, asks them what they did, and that there is how you build genuine followers. Now, he was recently on Netflix and went from like 100,000 followers to like 4 million in a couple of weeks, so he's obviously not replying to every single comment all day long, but that's just one strategy you can try. Now, the 4th thing, and this is boring, I know everyone says it, but time and consistency. Getting your first 10,000 followers will take time. It's not going to be, start an Instagram, post a few times and you'll get there. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes consistency. It's an exponential game. Maybe you grab my like 0 to 1,000 true fans course, which is linked below, and in the first month you hit 1,000 followers and you're pumped. And then in the second month you apply the exact same strategies that you use to organically get 1,000 followers in your first month, and the second month you gain 1,500, and then in the third month you gain 2,500. By that point, you're at 5,000 followers in 3 months. And then if you keep doing those strategies, maybe you gain 3,000, then 4,000, then 6,000. And then a year down the track, because you're using the right strategies and because you're focusing on community and content and building true fans, you could be growing 10 or 20 or 30,000 followers a month, a year down the line. But had you given up in the first week and just stopped it all because you had 100 followers, you would never be there. Just like if you tried to take the quick route and buy a bunch of followers to get you to 50,000, that there will actually considerably slow down your organic growth on Instagram. It'll probably ruin your page, but if you'd done that, it would hurt you. However, if you'd focus on the legitimate, correct strategies that I talk about in that course, you will get results, and eventually it'll just compound on top of each other. Just understand that regardless of whatever your favorite guru says, it won't happen overnight. The only way it will happen overnight is if you want to invest a serious amount of money into doing it, and you invest that the correct way with the guidance of someone that knows what they're doing. Now, if you want to get access to more in-depth and detailed tutorials on how to get your first 1,000 true fans on Instagram, as well as other organic strategies that will grow your audience, and I talk about my $5 per day Facebook strategies, you can grab my brand new course, which will be linked in the top of the description. Pitching aside, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and drop a comment down below telling me what the best thing you've ever done to grow your audience was, what tactic it might have been, or what post it might have been that did really well for you. Let me know down in the comments and I'll reply to everyone there. Cheers for watching. See you in the next video sometime soon.